And unfortunately, that went right in the middle of the tape to give the Lethbridge Kodiaks a 1-0 lead.
That's the kind of start you need if you're the Kodiaks, is to be able to just get the first point. Yeah, keep the call going. Yeah, neither of us can hear each other in the
And now number 6, Adina Wickstrom will be going back to serve.
From his headphones earlier on, so I don't know.
Annika Dick swings on the outside, and unfortunately
I had the remedy earlier.
And unfortunately, those are two hitting errors back to back to give the Ooks a 2-0 lead.
But now it's the microphones are still going.
Oh, and that is an out of rotation call for the Ooks as they are down 3-0. And those errors, like especially when you're out of rotation like that, are not something that the Ooks want as they're trying to get their first win of the season. And now Wickstrom is going back to the service line as she's currently on a 3-0 run with this topspin serve. It goes to a nice pass to Dick, run to Zielinski, and Zielinski's dug up. And Brown is stuffed by number 17, Kayla Zazula, as now it is a 3-1 game for the Lethbridge Kodiaks. And now Annika Dick will be going back to the service line, who has had one of her best games offensively and defensively tonight for this NAIT Ooks team. The one-handed stab by Zurkowski is brought up. And I believe that's a double contact called on Kate Krogan, the year 5 setter from Edmonton.
And for NAIT, you just need to stop making these errors. You had a perfect game going earlier on this match.
And now number 5, Mac Lewicki will go back to serve, who has been really consistent offensively so far tonight for this Lethbridge Kodiaks team. They'll go to Van den Elzen. And she gets it down through the hands to cut the lead to 2.
That's what you need for the Ooks. Van den Elzen has been one of the best players on their team so far tonight. Keep that up, keep feeding her so that she can keep attacking with the offense.
And the Ooks hitters are doing a great job tonight at finding the non-pressed hands of this Lethbridge Kodiaks block. Lewicki will just set it over, and that was just an unfortunate mishit by Zielinski as the Kodiaks now have a 5-2 lead. Alex, what do you see coming out? What do you see from this Kodiaks team so far in this third set?
They're doing a good job of getting the Ooks out of system and out of sync. Plain and simple.
And unfortunately, that'll be a service error from Mac Lewicki as she'll come off for the libero, and I believe that is Elise Doyle coming back in.
And that was one of the things that the Lethbridge Kodiaks had been doing a great job of in this third set, was keeping their service errors low. They need to keep doing that. And the Ooks can't make a service error in return.
And unfortunately, Kayla Zazula just wasn't able to get it to drop for the Ooks.
So we'll see a serve now come from Taryn Bach.
And Taryn Bach, what do you think of her so far as she's currently down 2-0?
She's definitely been one of the better offensive players for this team so far, having the awareness to realize when to do a set play, a dump right into the middle.
And this third set, you are starting to see that old Ooks team that was not doing well in the season. They need to get back into the form they had in that first 2 sets.
I'd see a timeout called soon if they don't get it back together.
Oh, and that is a ball that has to be brought up by the NAIT Ooks. And now we'll have a timeout called as the Kodiaks leave 8-3.
First adversity that the Ukes have really faced all match here as they are down big in this third set, 8-3 to the Kodiaks, but they have shown some resiliency themselves. What do you think the Ukes need to do, Ben, here to get back into this third set?
The Ukes just need a good side out, which means that they have to have a good serve receive pass, which that one wasn't the best, as unfortunately Annika Dick just hits it in the net. And these service errors, which have plagued the Ukes all season, are starting to come back against them in this third set.
Nothing is going right for them, it seems, here in the third set. Everything is starting to fall apart a little bit.
The Ukes have to get out of this rotation as soon as they can. They'll go to Van den Elzen. And she creates the overpass. They'll go back to Van den Elzen. And she's stuck once again. Oh, those were two incredible dinks from the Lethbridge Kodiaks as they now have a 10-3 lead over these NAIT Ukes.
Give the Kodiaks credit. They realized what was making their attack successful in the first two sets, and now they're capitalizing on it in spades.
And Van den Elzen has been doing a really good job swinging tonight, but these Kodiaks passers have really increased their defensive game in this third set. Oh, and that is an incredible kill by Charlotte Van Delzen as she's able to get it off Doble in that from that cross-court swing.
Keep attacking Doble. Doble's not been having the greatest night, and if Van den Elzen can keep going over to that side of the court, the Ukes might be able to climb back into this third set.
I think they have to keep going to Doble in serve receive as well, as that's what Charlotte Van Delzen did. But unfortunately, the Kodiaks are able to get a swing from Jamie Brown for the kill.
And Jamie Brown, if the Kodiaks can come back to win this one, has to be the player of the game without any question.
And with 3.47 kills a set, you can tell that they are really wanting to. They're going to really want to go to Brown whenever they can.
Just a little bit too long of a shot there. It looked like it was Annika Dick, and I don't think her shots in the third set and later on in the second have been as good as they were in the first.
Oh, the first set and a half, she was swinging incredibly well. And I think with this service error, the Ukes really have to take the momentum out of this in order to start coming back in the third set. Because in the first time in this match, now you can see that the Ukes are the team that has to fight back.
And for the Kodiaks, you got to keep those service errors down. That was the one thing that plagued them a lot in the first two.
Oh, and that was a nice kill right out of the middle by Shane Fowley.
And perfectly down the line, too. It looked like it had a shot of going out, but she managed to place it just perfectly inside.
And Shane Fowley, with only 9 kills on this season, has not had that much of a chance to play for this Lethbridge Kodiaks team. But tonight she is showing that she can be a dominant force from the middle. Oh, and that is a nice kill by Jessica Zielinski. That is what she needs to really start going offensively. That was the best connection we have seen between Krogan and Ann Zielinski tonight.
They haven't been the most noticeable, but definitely if they can keep that connection up, they have a shot.
And now Krogan will go back to the service line. And Zazula is going back to her regular ways as she takes a smart swing off the block to cut the lead to 6.
Not the greatest block for Wickstrom, as they've been doing a great job with the block, but sometimes you can see that they deflect it the wrong way. They don't get the right hands on it.
The Lakeland Kodiaks really have to keep pressing with their block. Oh, and that is a nice run kill to number 17, Erica Woods.
Kodiaks have shown a lot of dominance on the kills so far in this third set. That's something they need to just keep feeding off of.
And the Kodiaks have really been going to their middles and outsides in this set. Do you think the left side blocker should start shifting over for NAIT?
I would agree. Make the adjustment.
Oh, and that will be a Kodiaks point off, I believe, that was just down on the ground.
And it wasn't the greatest play either, as they had more options to set it to a different position.
And now Adina Wickstrom will go back to the service line, who has gone on a couple runs tonight for the Ukes team. Unfortunately, Zazula was not able to clear the net, and the Kodiaks have the biggest lead tonight of any team as they are up 16-7 against the Ukes.
Both teams look like completely different teams, and we're going to see the Ukes try and shake it up here as Zielinski will finally come out, and Xiaoliang Both will see her first action of the match.
And even though we haven't seen too much action from her so far in this year, she shows that she is a really good blocker for the Ukes team. And she's stuck by Doble. Zurkowski just rolls it, and it's dug easily. A nice stake by Krogan. Zurkowski will just have to send over the free ball. Dorb will go to Lewicki. And Lewicki is able to get it down for the kill.
This might be the most noticeable Lewicki has been all match. Timeout, Nate. NAIT Ukes here, down 17-7 in the third set. They just need one more set to win the match, and they need to find a rhythm here late in this game. Ben, what do you think the key to finding that rhythm will be?
I think for the Ukes, they really have to steady out on serve receive and really just start being more confident in their swings. They seem a little too tentative offensively right now. They're going to Dick on the right side, and Dick is able to get it to drop in the cross court to give the Ukes the eighth point of their set as they are down by 9.
That's the Annika Dick that we've been expecting a lot more of, that we've been seeing the past couple matches. If she can keep that rhythm going offensively, they have a really good shot.
A free ball will just go over. Where does Krogan go? She runs the middle to Both. And I think that was just I like that Kate Krogan is pushing her middle, but unfortunately that was just a really low side to Xiaoliang Both, and there was nothing she could really do with it.
Both's greatest strength isn't really kills, as she's more known for setting her teammates up. So keep playing to her strengths now that she's in the match.
And now Rhea Taylor will come in to serve as she gets her first action of the night. They'll go with Van den Elzen. Van den Elzen is dug. Door was set to Brown. And Brown's able to get it off the hands of Both for the kill as the Lethbridge Kodiaks go up 19-8.
Kodiaks just can't be stopped right now. And this is a completely different team from what we were seeing throughout most of the first two sets.
They go to Zazula. And Zazula gets it in for their 9th point of the set.
You could see the idea from the Kodiaks there as they thought that was going to go out, but it was a perfect shot from Zazula. Just keep it in on the corner.
And now Zielinski will come back in to serve, and she has been doing a great job serving tonight for the Ukes. See where Zielinski's able to go? That's a good pass by Noble. They'll run the middle. That's right up by Zielinski. Van den Elzen is brought back. Oh, and that is a block, but it goes out of bounds. Give the kill to Zazula.
And what I saw there from the Ukes was that they were ready for Turnbock's dump into the middle. They hadn't been ready before. That was the first time that they were able to counter.
And that was a great adjustment from Kate Krogan. That just shows you your 5 experience. Oh, Oh, and that was a really lucky tape kill for number 3, Jamie Brown.
Definitely caught the Ukes by surprise. There was no way they could respond to that in time.
And now, as the Ukes are down by 10, you just need to side out and try to gain some momentum, as we will probably be going to a 4th set here at the gymnasium. Oh, and that is a nice save by Kate Krogan, but she gets up a little slowly. I hope she's okay. I believe she is.
That did not sound pleasant at all, and the fact that she's able to get up and walk away from that is pretty impressive.
That was a really good dig, but unfortunately she ran right into the bleachers. And the ball goes long to give the Ukes their 11th point of the set, as they are only down by 10.
Not the greatest serve there from Woods, and she'll come right out for Erica Dobles. Lethbridge is looking to do everything they can to take this 3rd set.
And now Kayla Zazula will go back to the service line, who has been a really consistent year 5 so far for the Ukes. Oh, and unfortunately that was just out by Charlotte Van Delzen. But that was a really nice looking cross-court swing from her.
And not something you can't fault her for, is that's usually been what's worked out for her, that exact same shot so many times.
And now Taryn Back will be back at the service line, who I believe went on a 4- or 5-point run early in this 3rd set. Oh, and that's what you need. They have to keep putting more balls to Birkinshaw in the middle.
Birkinshaw's been quiet this 3rd set. They haven't gone to her too much.
But
if they can keep going to her, then that's going to balance out your offense. You can't just keep going to 1 or 2 players.
And as Charlotte Van Dazzle puts it in the net, I just want to say that the Ukes passing has started to go down. Has started to go down in this 3rd set, which has not allowed them to get the ball to the middles as much as they would want to. Annika Dick is unfortunately stuffed on the outside, as the Kodiaks the Lethbridge Kodiaks will have a plethora of set points as they are leading 24-12.
And for NAIT, just try and get out of the set as best as you can.
And unfortunately, that's an ace off Zirkowski, as the Lethbridge Kodiaks will take the 3rd set, 25-12. Make sure you stay with us for the 4th.
Yo, G, they can't stop me from rapping, can they? Can they, hop?
And welcome back to the NAIT Gymnasium as we are starting the fourth set between this NAIT Ooks team versus the Lethbridge Kodiaks. I'm Ben Lowon, and I'm here with
Alex McFarland.
And Alex, what do you want to see from NAIT Ooks as they currently have a 2-1 lead, but that last set was not their strongest set we've seen at all this season.
Just erase the last set from your memory. You had a really strong first two sets. Play off of your strengths from those sets more and pretend the third never happened. You still got 2 sets to 1 lead.
And now Shane Foley will go back to the service line to start off this fourth set. She gets the overpass. Oh, and unfortunately that was out by, I believe, Kayla Zazula, and that gives the first point of the set to the Lethbridge Kodiaks.
That looked like an excellent kill attempt, though. They made something happen out of nothing there, and if only it just stayed a little bit inside.
Krogan will go to Zazula. She'll be off the net. She just rolls it. That's dug up by Bach. Oh, and that is a nice save by Van den Elzen. And another great dig by Bach. They'll take Brown out of the back row, and that was a back row steamer from number 3, Jamie Brown.
And give credit to the Kodiaks a couple times. They looked down and out, and they somehow found a way to battle through.
And the Ooks are in their sticky rotation, where they have Zazula swinging from the left and Dick swinging from the right. If I was Krogan right now, I would probably be going to Dick on the right or Zielinski in the middle. Zazula takes the first pass. They'll go to Dick. And Dick gets it up, and that is a dig that hits the roof. And that will be a point for the Ooks.
I don't want to see the Ooks change anything about their game here in this fourth set. Yes, you're down 2-1, but every point so far in this fourth set, they have looked much more like this Ooks team we saw the first 2.
The Ooks just have to keep swinging confidently, which is what they've been doing all night. And Jamie Brown is just having her way in the back row.
That's the one thing I'd like to see out of the Ooks is adjust to the fact that they are going to Brown all the time.
They have to know that that Bach will go to Jamie Brown in whatever position she's in on the court. They're going to Zazula. Oh, and Zazula is able to get it down to give the Ooks to cut the lead to 1.
That was not the greatest hit by Bach that we have seen, as she did not look confident of the direction it was going, and instead just put it right over to a teammate who wasn't prepared.
And now for Jessica Zazula, she'll probably not. Zielinski puts in that short serve, which gets the Kodiaks out of system. Oh, and unfortunately that ball just hit the antenna as the Kodiaks now have a 4-2 lead.
It was an excellent play. You could see Zazula is doing everything she can to save as many points as possible for the Ooks.
And with Zazula being a year 5, she has shown that she can use her volleyball brain whenever she needs to.
As we'll see the serve coming from Lewicki here.
And she has a really aggressive float serve. Oh, and that is a nice thumb down kill by Kayla Zazula. That's her second kill of the set, as the Ooks are now only down by 1.
Keep attacking Wickstrom. I haven't really seen her best game come out in the 3rd and 4th sets. She looked a lot better early on, but Wickstrom is not on it right now.
And now they'll go to Brown on the outside. Oh, and that is a nice dig by Dick out of the back row. They'll just put over free ball with Zurikowski. Bach goes back to Brown. It's a little bit of a misset. The Ooks have to capitalize. They'll go to Brickenshaw. And Brickenshaw is able to get it off the block and down to tie the game at 4 apiece.
Elise Dobel has not been having the greatest game either, and on that play, just could not get the right strike that she wanted.
Exactly. And even though Elise Dobel is the libero, she has not been doing the best job in serve receive and passing tonight. I think the Ooks servers really have to start targeting her. Oh, and that's a nice cover by Zurikowski. Oh, and unfortunately, Charlotte Van Den Elzen is stuffed on the outside as the Kodiaks now take a 5-4 lead.
Kodiaks are going to need more of that kind of point as the Ooks players are adjusting Turnbach's dump to the middle.
And the Lethbridge Kodiaks block is really starting to now key in on Van Den Elzen and Annika Dick on the outside. Birkinshaw is brought back. They'll go to Brown. Brown tips it. And unfortunately, Zazula just isn't able to bring it up as the Kodiaks now take a 2-point lead.
An excellent idea by Jamie Brown, realizing that at any point in the match, the Ooks could adjust to her smash mouth style. And so instead, she throws a curveball.
Oh, and that is a nice swing by Van Den Elzen. And it goes out off the dig to give the Ooks their 5th point of this 4th set.
This is more like the Ooks that we saw in the first 2 sets where they are keeping with the Kodiaks every step of the way. They need to just keep doing this.
All 5 of the Ooks hitters are now hitting really confidently, and they have to keep that up if they want to shut this down in 4. And they'll get an ace from Van Den Elzen. She is incredible from that back line. The year 1 from Lethbridge is doing a great job.
That was an impressive point there, and the Ooks realize that they can't let their foot off the gas pedal. They saw where that went in the 3rd set.
Oh, and that's a nice pass by Doble. They'll run the middle. It's just tipped. They're going to go to Brown, and they do. And Brown is blocked. They'll go back to her. Oh, and that's another nice kill by Brown going down the line.
And that couldn't have been any more perfectly placed as it looked like it was going out, but she just kept it in by a few inches.
In those out-of-system situations, they have only been going to Jamie Brown. So the NAIT blockers really have to start keying in on her in these out-of-system situations. Oh, and that is a lucky serve by, I believe that was number 11, the setter, Taryn Bach. She gets it down for the ace.
You did mention the point about Jamie Brown. The Ooks did show earlier on in that previous point that they are adjusting. They are starting to set up a block on Jamie Brown. They just need to keep working it.
And now Taryn Bach will go back to serve, and she's been doing a great job from the service line tonight for this Lethbridge Kodiaks team. Oh, and that's a really nice aggressive swing from Dick, coming from the bump set from Krogan.
We're seeing the Lethbridge Kodiaks start to not figure out how to respond. They had the answer for everything the Ooks wanted to throw at them in the 3rd set, but now the Ooks are finding new ways to come through.
And you know the Ooks do not want to go to a 5th set, so the one thing they really have to do is keep swinging high and aggressively in order to get this defense out of route. And Annika Dick gets it off the late coming block to tie the game at 8.
Kodiak's block has started to lose a little bit of its luster as the Ooks have been adjusting perfectly.
And Annika Dick is just having a heyday with the block in this front row this whole match.
And now we'll see the serve from Carly Birkinshaw.
They'll go to Brad on the right side. And that is a great straight down kill by number 3.
We had seen her kills from the left side all match, but she's showing that either side of the court, she is very proficient.
And we have called her name so many times tonight, and we probably won't stop until this match is over. Oh, and that is another kill by Annika Dick. She is having her way against this Kodiak's defense.
Keep targeting Elise Doble. That's what they need to do more in this match. It's been pretty apparent that Doble's not on it tonight.
And Annika Dick is the hot hand right now for this Ooks team. And the middle connections for the Lethbridge Kodiaks is one thing that the Ooks have not been able to stop all night.
And there's surely an adjustment that will come in that order.
And now, number 8, Shane Fowley will go back to the service line as Erica Woods will check back in for the Kodiaks.
One thing I've noticed about Shane Fowley is her very patient serve. It definitely throws opponents off.
That might have been going out, but Zerkowski plays it. Krogan plays that second ball. Zerkowski is covered. But unfortunately, they just can't keep the cover in, as the Kodiaks now have an 11-9 lead as they try to force the decisive fifth set.
Ukes were definitely out of system on that one. They need to be a little bit more in control, keep going forward to keep within 2 or 3 points.
And the Ukes have been doing a good job at serve receive in this fourth set, and they really have to keep that up right now. Zazula will be off the net. She just rolls it. That'll be dug by the middle. Oh, and that was a nice kill by number 6, Adina Wickstrom. Do you think the Ukes need a timeout to really to stop this run?
They do. They'll call one. Neither team is going to give any inch here in this fourth set. It's been close throughout, and the Kodiaks trying to gain some separation, have a 12-9 lead as they look to force a decisive fifth set. My partner, Ben Lohan, has been seeing this match as well, and what does he think the Ukes need to do to keep within
the Ukes cannot be playing conservative at this point in this fourth set. They have to be, all 5 of their hitters have to be swinging on all cylinders if they want to take this, in the fourth.
As the ball makes its way onto the court, they'll just kick that off, and Shane Fowley has been the best server for the Kodiaks so far tonight.
And that's taken well by Zazula. They'll set Zazula. Zazula is dug, but a free ball will just be sent over. Not taken well by the Ukes. Oh, and that was a throw by number 3, Jamie Brown, but unfortunately, she threw it right in the top of the tape.
Uncharacteristic of what we've seen the rest of the match is that she's usually on fire with those kill attempts. That one's just not the best strike.
And now Anna Kadik will go back to the service line, who has been a great server so far tonight for the Ukes. Creates the overpass, and Charlotte Van Den Elzen knows what to do as she gets it off the head of one of the Kodiak blockers.
This is the Ukes' best momentum so far, and this is what they needed coming out of that timeout.
You can really tell that the Ukes do not want to go to a fifth set in this against this Kodiak's team. And unfortunately, Van Den Elzen just brings it down, but that was another great swing by Adina Wickstrom, the year 3 right side from Coaldale.
There's been moments where she hasn't looked on her game, but then in most recent times, she has definitely been on it, especially late on this fourth set.
There runs Zelinsky. Oh, and that is an incredible dig by Boyle. They'll set Van Den Elzen. Oh, and Van Den Elzen is stuffed on the outside as the Kodiaks will, I believe, will now have a 15-11 lead. No, my bad, 14-11.
And the Kodiaks do have their largest lead of the set as they look to gain some more separation.
And for the Kodiaks, they need to keep Adina Wickstrom on the service line as long as they can. Oh, and that was just a miscommunication in the back row, as it is now 15-11.
I wouldn't be surprised if they swap out Zurkowski at some point, realizing they need to do everything they can to win the set.
And Zurkowski has been doing a good job in the back row, but unfortunately, she really has to call that because that's her main job, is serve, receive, and defense. Zazula was blocked, and a free ball will just go over. Smartly placed by And that is into the net by, I believe, number 5, Mac Lewicki, to give the point to the Ukes, as they're now only down by 3, with one of their strongest servers, Jessica Zielinski, going back to the line.
The Kodiaks did not look too confident on that point. It didn't look like anyone knew who was going to take charge.
Oh, and that is a nice swing. Oh, that's it. Unfortunately, that went out, but that was the right idea for Charlotte Van Den Elzen. Unfortunately, she just hit it a little long.
You said just a bit too much power on that one, and unfortunate because, as you said, they had their best server at the line.
And even though Van Den Elzen's only a year one, she is showing that she has plenty of years of experience in this ACAC. Where's Dow go? And Jamie Brown now puts it in the net. These outsides are starting to hit way too low, as they have just put a ton in the net in this last 3 or 4 points.
Jamie Brown has been playing so well so far in this match, and the last couple kill attempts that she's had have looked pretty uncharacteristic.
The serve goes off the net. And that is hit long by Lewicki, as the Ukes are now only 2 points down, as we are 16-14, as we are starting to get deep into this 4th set.
Too many mistakes are creeping back into the Kodiaks game. They looked really strong late on the 2nd set and throughout the 3rd. They need to find that rhythm again.
Oh, and that was a nice one-handed sound by Zurkowski, but that will go down as a kill for Erica Woods.
I would like to see Zurkowski let that ball go, let someone in the back of the court try and take that.
And Zurkowski has been targeted a lot tonight in serve receive and defense, but she has shown that she is a really strong player for this Ukes team, the year 2 setter from Calgary.
That looked like it could have been inside, but it's ruled out. It was very close right down the line. It gives the 18th point of the set for the Kodiaks.
And even though the Ukes are down by 4, they just have to keep swinging confidently, because that's what's been able to keep them in these sets. And now the passing for Zurkowski is really starting to decrease, as now the Ukes will call a timeout as they're down by 5. Make sure you stay with us.
Back here in the NAIT Gymnasium as the Ukes look to find a way to climb back here in this 4-set down, 19-14 to the Kodiaks, who themselves are looking to push this to the decisive 5th set.
They've been targeting Zurkowski and serve receive, and it's been really, really well for them, as Charlotte Van Den Elzen is able to go off the hands for the kill.
And Taryn Bach has been a little bit silent so far in this 4th set, not her best set of the match, as she looks down in frustration.
Oh, and that was a really nice serve by Charlotte Van Den Elzen, but that was taken even better by Lewicki, and Lewicki puts it right in the net, as the Ukes are now starting to come back, as they are only down by 3.
When you saw the Kodiaks go on that run earlier, they were eliminating the mistakes from their game. Mistakes from their game plagued them throughout long stretches of 1st and 2nd sets. They can't let it come back into their game now.
Bowie is dug. Oh, and that was a really nice dig from the Dick swing. And an even better dig from Zurkowski. The tip goes from Burkishaw, and now a tip from Brown. Brown. Oh, that was one of the most terminal swings of the night for number 3, Jamie Brown.
What a night she has had. Anytime they have sent the ball over to her on the left side, it's been near automatic.
And they needed to get Charlotte Van Danselen off the service line because she is one of the most dominating servers on this Ooks team. And unfortunately, the ball just froze on the court as we will restart play.
They've had a few issues with ball rolling onto the court tonight. It's been uncharacteristic.
It has been from us minor officials. A nice pass from Zazula. They have to use this. An even better dig from Lewicki. Brown just was over a free ball. Zazula takes it. Krogan sets it. And unfortunately, that was just a little of a bit of a misconnection between her and Birkinshaw, as now there's a 5-point gap as the Kodiaks try to force a decisive fifth.
Just simplify the game if you're the Ooks. Don't need too many passes. Just send something over.
Oh, and that's a nice one-handed side by Lewicki. And a nice swing from Brown. They'll go back to Dick. Oh, and that was in for, I believe that was in for Dick. She is doing a great job. She's doing a great job when she is swinging confidently.
That was perfect in the corner. Rembrandt right down the line, painting it perfectly.
And now number 12, Emma Blumenschein, will come in to play middle for this Ooks team. And she has, these last couple games, she has done a really good job in the middle, and especially from the service line. Oh, and that is a straight down stuff for Blumenschein. What a way to enter the game for number 12.
Amazing. That's what they've needed to counter the block from number 3, Jamie Brown, all match. Timeout. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the NAIT Gymnasium as we are coming out of a Kodiaks called timeout as they are leading 21-18 as they try to force this decisive 5th set against the NAIT Ooks. Alex, what do you want to see from the Ooks to close out the match, or for the Kodiaks to force the 5th?
For the Kodiaks, it's just critical. No more mistakes. Don't let those creep back into your game.
Oh, and that was a really aggressive swing from an out of system situation from number 5, Mac Lewicki.
She's had definitely moments like that where she has looked very potent.
Oh, and that is a nice solo stop from number 2, Kate Krogan. She is showing her experience in this game.
That was excellent defense, realizing that the Kodiaks are going to put it right back over on that play. That was drawn to perfection.
And now Kate Krogan will go back to the line. A nice pass by Doble. They'll run the middle. Flowey is dug. That was a set that died on its way to Dick. And unfortunately, they're able to, for the Ooks, I believe that was number 5, Mac Lewicki's able to get it off the block as they are 2 points away from forcing a 5th.
We're in the red zone here, though. The Ooks need to find a way to break through here. But the Kodiaks have one of their most dangerous servers at the line, as we have seen the patient serve from Shane Fowley throw the Ukes out of system.
Oh, and unfortunately that was just hit a little too far across for the Kodiaks, as they now have 5 set points as they're trying to force a 5th.
They need this one. The Kodiaks can't let the Ukes back in at all. Foot on the gas.
And that is a great kill from Zazula. That is what she needed coming up the left side to save the Ukes.
The Ukes are not out of this one yet. If they can put together a run here with Annika Dick serving, they might be able to come back and win this one.
And this is exactly who you want at the service line if you're the Ukes right now. And Brown shakes it as Annika Dick hits her third ace of the night, as the Ukes are now at the 21-point mark.
Like I said for the Kodiaks, that was a mistake on that play, as they could not get the right deflection. You just got to be careful with where you're placing the ball here.
Oh, and that is off the block for Lewicki to give this 4th set to the Kodiaks, 25-21. Make sure you stay with us for our first 5th set of the season.
Back here in the NAIT Gymnasium for a decisive 5th set here. The Kodiaks were down 2-0, but they have climbed all the way back and now just need 15 points to complete what would be an incredible comeback.
And I've been low on, but Alex, what do you think what do you want to see from either one of these teams? As I believe this is the first 5th set any of these two teams have had this year.
For the Ukes, they built back a lot of the momentum that they had lost in the 3rd set. They need to keep building on that. And for the Kodiaks, it's been the theme of the game. Anytime they've made mistakes, they have looked completely out of sorts. But anytime they have been able to limit their mistakes, they have looked dynamite.
And you hear us constantly talking about the red zone in volleyball, but with the 5th set, this whole set's a red zone, as every error is magnified by 10-fold when we start.
That did not look good.
And there's an error right off the bat by Lewicki. And you can tell this Ooks bench, this is the most energized they've been all season.
Not the way to start if you're the Kodiaks. They started the same way in the first and second sets, giving out the first point. We saw how that turned out.
And this 5th set is a sprint, so there is no room for any mistakes at this point. And unfortunately, that's a back-to-back errors, as that was Van Delzen who just puts it right in the middle of the tape.
I would have liked to see Van Delzen send over a free ball. That would have been a lot better of a choice, a lot more potential to get the Kodiaks out of the system.
I do like seeing how aggressive she is still being, though, in this 5th set.
As we'll see the serve coming here from Wickstrom.
And the ball is brought back by Doble.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and that is a great first kill for number 12, Emma Blumenschein. The 6-foot middle from Spruce Grove.
We saw her come in for her first action last set, and since she's come in, the Ooks have looked a lot better off than they did in the 3rd and early on in the 4th.
And now you have another good server back at the line with Annika Dick. Oh, and unfortunately, that's a net violation, I believe, on Emma Blumenschein. And that is not the error she would want in this 5th set.
I don't know exactly where the error was, and she looks a little bit puzzled as well. The official saw something that our eyes could not catch.
I believe it was most likely a net violation, as number 5, Matt Glowicki, the year 5 from Tabor, will go back to serve. Kayla Zazula will just have to send over a free ball. Where do they go? They'll run the outside to Brown. And in this 5th set, where it's for all the marbles, you want to be putting the ball to your most experienced hitters. And for the Kodiaks, that's Jamie Brown.
It looked like they just needed to spread out the offense a little bit. She had a little bit of the yips in the 4th set. It looks like she's gotten past those with a bit of a break.
And if you're the Ooks, you're down 2 right now, but you have to keep swinging aggressively because you do not want to be reverse swept tonight.
The reverse sweep is such a thing in so many sports, and volleyball is no different.
And now number 5, Mac Lewicki, will keep back on the service line. And that is out for the error for Lewicki, and that's what the Ooks need if they want to keep in touch with the Lethbridge Kodiaks in this set.
Smart realization, though, knowing that it was going to go out, and the Kodiaks, they cannot have any errors in their service game at all in this 5th set.
And unfortunately for Emma Blumenschein, she sends that long, and she has been one of the strongest servers for the Ooks this year, as I believe on the season, she does have 5 aces, which is second most on the team.
We'll see a serve now from Erica Woods.
Oh, and the Ooks have to call a timeout now as they're down by 3, and that's what they'll do. Make sure you stay with us.
Can you come to Harry's after you're done?
Things getting dire for the Ukes here, who had a 2-0 lead, but we are inevitably here in the 5th set as the Ukes look to win. Kodiaks currently have a 6-3 lead. Ben, take it away.
Oh, and that is not the start to the set that the Ukes would want, as unfortunately Van den Elzen is stuffed on the outside. Throughout this game, Van den Elzen has been doing a really good job getting it through the seam, but at the start, this last set and a half, the Kodiak's block has really started to key in on her, and Dick as well. And that's a little bit of a miscommunication in the back row, and that will be a kill for number 8, Charlotte Van den Elzen, the year 1 from Lethbridge.
Not just the back row, but realizing on the front row that one of your back row players is going to come and save that and to be ready for the dig.
Oh, and that is almost saved by Zurkowski, but unfortunately, that will go down as a kill for number 3, JB Brown, the year 5 from Fort McLeod.
They had the block on Brown earlier in the game. The Ukes need to figure out how to do that again.
And going back to the service line will be Taryn Bogsch, who's been having a great day from the back line. Zazula puts up a really nice pass. They'll go to Van den Elzen. Van den Elzen is blocked, but it will be sent over. Oh, and that is a nice stuff block from number 5, Carly Burkishaw, as she tries to get her team going in this set.
That was what the Ukes needed desperately. If they had given up a 9th point to the Kodiaks there, that could have spelled danger.
And they were only down by 3 with one of their strongest servers, Van den Elzen, back at the line. Van den Elzen almost got another ace, but a free ball will just go over. Burkishaw will take it. They'll run Burkishaw, and Burkishaw gets it down. She is showing her year 4 experience.
Easily one of the best players for the Ukes tonight. If she can keep up this performance, the Ukes will have a really good chance of taking this 5th set.
And on the season, Burkishaw's only hitting 0.59, but tonight she's doing a lot better from the offensive, from an offensive standpoint. Dick is brought up. They have to go to Brown, but they'll go to the right side. Krogan just puts over a free ball. And number 8, Shane Fowley is able to get it down. Alex, what do you think of Fowley's performance so far from the middle for the Kodiaks?
It's definitely been very noticeable, and that's maybe one of the things she's done best besides serving is using the block to her advantage.
They'll go to Dick. Oh, and that is an unfortunate shot. That goes just long. They couldn't get the touch, but now they'll be down 10-6 and in this 5th set to 15.
Just keep doing what you've been doing, though. You're never out of it, even if you're only down, especially if you're only down 4.
And there, Dick makes up for it and gets it down. And the Ukes are only down by 3 as it is 7-10.
It'll be Burkishaw going to the service line here. Let's see how well she can do.
And Burkishaw, she's really consistent, and she knows in these 5th sets that these serves have to go over. And unfortunately, that just goes down the block, but give the kill to Adina Wickstrom, the year 3 from Coaldale. She came in at the 2nd set, and she's been doing a great job so far from that opposite side.
Critical notice, they brought the libero Elise Dobel out, and they have put Erica Woods in. They realize the Kodiaks do that they can't make any mistakes, especially with their best server at the line right now.
That's a good pass by Zazula. They'll go to Dick. And Dick is able to get it off the block to cut the lead to 3. Now that the Ukes have the momentum with Kate Krogan at the service line, it is essential that she's able to put in some 2 or 3 or 4 really aggressive serves.
That was a critical point for the Ukes. If they had let Shane Fowley get any momentum, that would have been it.
And that is taken down and give the kill to number 6, Adina Wickstrom.
This is a critical time here for the Ukes. You can't let the Kodiaks gain any more traction.
As the Kodiaks are only 3 points away from taking the reverse sweep here at the NAIT Gymnasium. Oh, and that is a nice kill down the line by the year 5, Kayla Zazula. And with this being her last year, she knows her shot selection on both the right and left sides.
Feels like right now she's playing with ice in her veins.
Oh, and that is a ball that should be brought up, but it goes down for Mac Lewicki as the Kodiaks are now at the 13th point, and a timeout will be taken by the Ukes. Make sure you stay with us. And welcome back to the NAIT Gymnasium as we are at the decisive point of this once again, decisive 5th set between the Lethbridge Kodiaks and the NAIT Ukes as they are currently up 13-9. I'm Ben Lowon and I'm here with
Alex McFarland.
And Alex, what do you want to see from the Ukes in order to make that comeback they need to in this 5th set?
Just keep playing the simple game. The simple game has worked the best.
Oh, and unfortunately that just went right between Zurkowski and Dick for the ace to give the Kodiaks a possible match point. Alex, who do you want to see Krogan? Who do you want to see Krogan set in order to keep them alive in this great match?
I'd say Vanden Elzen.
I would agree with you completely on that one. Or maybe try Blumenshine, as she's been able to get her kills down, even though she has had many attempts tonight. They'll go to Vanden Elzen. Oh, and that will be a kill for Vanden Elzen off the net violation from the Lethbridge Kodiaks.
And by the reaction of the team, it looks like it was on Erica Woods, and there have been a couple times where a net violation has been committed and it's unclear exactly what the violation is.
And now Jessica Zielinski will come back to serve, the year 2 middle who graduated from Archbishop O'Leary. And she has a great serve and she needs to get them in order to keep her team alive. They'll go to Brown. And Brown seals the match as the